Hello, I'm Zaraganat. Good evening and welcome to my studio. Mic's live. Camera's live. Camera's live. Bright glasses on. Pyrography machine's turned on. Monitor's over there so I can see the chat and have a cup of tea. Something's going to go wrong. It's got to, hasn't it? But anyway. Let us, for the moment, assume that it's not going to go wrong. I keep saying I must polish this tip. I haven't done so yet. Yes, it's decidedly dirty. It could do with cleaning up. Right, so let us see about some shading. Yeah, this pen definitely needs polishing. What's that? I've had all that. What's this? That got a bit more heat than I was expecting. So this is kind of like underpainting. Where did that mark come from? Can I get rid of that? Oh, I can. Sometimes erasers won't pick up marks and other times they do. That sudden jump was me just getting out of the way of a hot end. Out of light. Yes, you are indeed. I figured you'd been around enough. You don't have to do anything if you don't want. I mean, there's not a lot to do. But, yeah. I'd say congratulations. Oh, if you don't want it, I'll take it away. I think if you change your name, it might stop working, but I don't know. So off camera I have been doing some more of the black background, and I've almost finished. Well, sort of almost finished. I'm just going to come down this side, but I'll continue to do that off camera rather than here. Is that good or is that bad? 6,000. Well, it's purely down to the game itself. I don't have any interaction with it one way or the other. So if you're getting good stuff from it, I guess that must be because you're good at it. So I kind of want shadows not to be particularly blotchy or shading, so that's why you see me twirling the pen a lot here, is just to even out the heat that's been added to the wood, to try and avoid it getting blotchy. The idea is that the pen's not still, so you don't get a blob. You just get sort of an even heat applied over the area. But even so, you still have to keep it moving and still keep an eye out for the fact that it will change colour. And it won't necessarily do it evenly just because the wood itself doesn't necessarily cook evenly. Having this really dark area outside is actually quite useful in some ways, because it means that I can rub my pen on it to cool it down when I've not been using it for a little while. I kind of want to come down the edge there anyway. Just to help with the three-dimensional or three-dimensionality is the word I was looking for. I'm also thinking I may need to just turn this heat up a little bit. Because now that Wolfie's got a game to play, he's not watching the stream at all. As if he ever did watch it and didn't just listen. See, a bit too much of a subtle shadow. So just turn the heat up a little bit. Always a balancing act, finding the right temperature for the speed that you want to work at. Right, coming up across here, I want it to be quite dark. Not necessarily exactly black, but in deep shadow. The area of the wood there proving to be a little bit awkward, but even so, don't be tempted to just leave your tool sitting there in one place. You'll get an effect you didn't expect. You're muted for a little. Okay. You're multitasking. It's alright, I was just teasing you a little bit, that's all. I just removed the marker line because I don't want it to be cooked into the colour. part of the difficulty now is I don't necessarily also want lots of circles. I know what I did forget, and that is my other reference, which I shall just get. Put that to one side. I've got two references for this. One is a photograph and one is an image I did a little while ago. Which is closer to the sort of effect that I'm after. So I've just put that to one side so I can refer to it. Yeah. So this is all going to be in shadow. Now one advantage, or one thing that I'm getting with the fact that I'm twiddling the pen around like this, is I'm going to get a soft edge, which sort of, for the edge of a shadow on fur coming up to here, is going to be quite nice, I think, rather than a hard edge shadow. Just this bit across here is quite hard. Well, I say hard wood, it's the wood is not taking colour very easily. I may need to adjust that. Despite the fact that you know everybody thinks of wood burning, if you like, or pyrography as being black, it's not most of the time. It's well, it might be black if you use just a writing type pen or a single nib pen and burn the heck out of the wood. Just use a pure black and white style. But when you're using the other styles where you're shading, you get some nice. I mean, this is a lovely orangey brown colour I'm getting here. It's darker than it looks on camera, but it's a lovely sort of orangey colour. Kind of want to, if I can, get this built up in layers. It gives it a little bit more depth and more slight variations in colour, I guess. This is a slightly mottled look, which you're perhaps not seeing. on camera. But you get a smooth texture, but with a slight variation in it. Whereas if you're able to see this, I mean, you can see like the lines across. And I'm trying to avoid that sort of tooling mark in this particular thing here, which is principally why I'm going to build it up in layers. Or try building it up in layers. Because it should allow me to remove all those tooling marks. There are some, and they're circular, but as I keep going over it, I'm sort of smoothing those out. Now this area is kind of really the light fur. This isn't the dark fur, so even I'm doing this. I will effectively be adding shading all over, and then put the black spots in afterwards. Finally, because all the area, well, I suppose I could do them first, but all the area in between does have to be shaded in some form. If I do underneath the dots, doesn't matter. Dots will be added as darker patches later. You're back. I'm glad you've sorted out your problem. Or your streamer's problem. Just staying, I've got a guideline there which I'm just going to stay away from. As if I run the pen over the top of it, I'll make it permanent. And I want to be able to erase it. So I'm kind of working up to it, but not over it. It is nice to help other people. Isn't that supposed to take lots and lots of viewers to do that sort of thing, Wolfie? Not for one person to do it on their own. Right, now I can erase that line. Yeah, I know it's not meant to be done. That's the whole thing about the when you read the information on it. It's kind of like, you know, encourage all your viewers in chat to increase the level of your town. And it's kind of like, oh yeah, all one of them. Okay, now I can go back over this where the line was, because I put the line there for a reason. That's where I wanted the edge of the muzzle to be. As I'm going to be making this quite dark, if I'd have gone over the line it would not really have been a problem. But it's kind of like good practice to erase those. Something I learnt this afternoon as well is if you enter competitions with pyrography, then one of the things the judges look for is whether you've cooked your lines in or whether you've managed to remove them if you've used them. So apparently they look for evidence of the guidelines. Well, yeah, that's part of the premise of the game, is, you know, getting other people to join in. Yeah, I don't think I'd be watching a particular stream just so I could play the game that's on that streamer's page or chat. I gather some people do, so. I know for you, Wolfie, it's kind of like you're here anyway, you might as well do something while you're here. Yeah. And again, thank you for the compliment. At least I think that's what it was. Okay, now what I might start down here, what I might start doing in a minute is turning the heat up a little bit. I can make this go darker just by slowing down, but it becomes a lot harder to avoid creating individual tracks if you do that. And what happens with this is the heat accumulates in an area, and every time you go over it you keep adding a little bit more heat to that area, and the wood reacts. Because the colour is determined by the quantity of heat, not the actual temperature. Well, I suppose it's the temperature that the wood has at that point, but that temperature is controlled by the amount of heat that you've added, and it's a temperature time equation. You're rank 1, you need 11. Oh, you mean 1 isn't the best? Why do you need rank 11? It gives a bit more heat. Okay, level. And sorry, I kind of know what you mean. You're level 9 and you need level 11. Okay, why do you need level 11? Do you get something special, or is this so that you can go into another stream and sort of suddenly show off the fact that you've suddenly got this high level? Oh, you get better gear at that. Alright. I'm quite, well, I am new at all these sorts of game type things. I don't play many games. What's that look like? Not bad. I was watching a program earlier in the day about things like secrets. Well, what was it called? Secrets of Underground London or something. But there was a lot of it about the London tube trains, and about a number of tubes that were constructed in World War II. And they were intended to be part of the London Underground network, but initially were underground shelters for the bomb shelters, and how they sort of never did get added to the underground, and they still sort of are there, and usually a lot of them are document stores and things. It's quite a fascinating program. I've always been fascinated though by things like that. I frequently have been the London Underground. And by frequently I mean sort of once or twice a year, as opposed to sort of every day like some people. And as you often go down, you can sort of see where tunnels are cut, but there's a wall there. Or you'll see an air shaft or a grill, and I'm always fascinated to wonder what's there, you know. There's a lot more tunnels in an underground station than you as a member of the public ever see. And then there's the abandoned stations, or I suppose they are abandoned stations on the network, which are still there, and still have things like ticket halls, and some of them are still sort of in there. I won't say Victorian, but really old liveries and things like that. And I find that kind of absolutely fascinating, because they're really like a step back in time. It's like a lot of the there's quite a few sort of around the world. There's quite a few sort of atomic shelters, which are now disused for that purpose. But quite a few of them have been sort of opened up, and to be visited. And the programme was sort of touched on some of those, and it's a fascinating thing to sort of see these buildings. I think there was one of them which sort of above ground sort of just looked like a family home, but when you went inside it, there was lifts that went down to the actual sort of shelter, and it was sort of thousands of square feet. Complete with sort of great big water tanks and engines and air filtration and all these sorts of things. I visited the cabinet rooms, the war rooms in London. That was quite fascinating as well. Sort of under one of the buildings. I can't remember which building it is now, but it's just sort of like just under it. Although I gather they did, as part of it, sort of build sort of a fairly thick ceiling. But yeah, just a whole series of rooms, which was just the basement of a government building, and they decided to make it the cabinet war rooms. And there's all sorts of things like the map rooms, and Churchill, of course, his rooms, and it's fascinating to go look around. Probably why I like adventure games quite so much, because of that desire to know what's behind, or where does the air tunnel go, and things like that. So just to explore all those obscure things, like old castles and things, where you see that are open to the public, and you'll sort of see spaces that won't let you go down. It's kind of like there's a ramp going down, but they won't let you go down there. Well, what's down there? I want to know what's down there. And things like secret passages in old old castle type manor homes and things like that. Absolutely fascinate me. Now I kind of want this shadow here to be dark enough for you not to be able to see the spots. Really must see if I can find my larger shader. That is often how the mods come about, Wolfie. Is a lot of when I first was streaming, the mods I had then were because of that. Literally, they were they were in the stream all the time, and they were answering questions and as people asked them, and were generally being helpful. And as you know, the kind of like the first rule if you want to be a mod is not to ask to be a mod, because the answer's always no. I think just about every streamer says the same thing. You know, if you help out and help other people and chat to people in the stream and things like that, then that's more likely to get you moderator status than asking. I'm gonna say I don't think I don't know Nightbot, so I didn't think moderator status gave you any particular privileges on any of the bots, but maybe Nightbots is different. Mine is, as you know, Moobot, so. Is it? I didn't. I thought Nightbot was another one of the cloud-based, and I thought most of the. I thought all the code-based ones were run locally on your own machine. I think I did at one point take a look at Nightbot, and it may well be that you were right, because back then I probably went, this looks a bit complicated to start with, and I started with a simple one and just found no need to go any more. Nightbot is cloud. Okay. I didn't know it allowed, if you like, custom programming. Maybe I shall have to take a look at that. I mean, at the moment it doesn't, I don't need anything particularly sophisticated. It acts as a bit of a spam filter, and it does a little bit of advertising. And Moobot does that quite well. I see. You're a Nightbot consultant, eh? Okay, I need to get a bit more serious with this. This is... I don't know. It's almost as though this tool isn't getting as hot as it used to do. I think I want this a bit darker. About that sort of level. One of the things I was kind of thinking of adding with me, because I've got a bad memory, as you know, was what, not specifically a bot, but something that read the chat and would let me know if that person, a person that was in there, had been in the channel before and whether or not they'd been speaking in chat. And potentially allow me to add comments. So the next time that they appeared, I'd have some sort of idea. I mean, quite often I've got a sort of a slightly visual memory. So I can remember faces, for example, quite well. From the point of view of I recognise that person, don't necessarily know why, who, how or what, but I sort of recognise them. And because you don't have faces in chat, but you kind of transfers the names because they're so colourful. You know, yours, you know, what was it, Tuvana Wolfie? It's quite an unusual sort of name, and you sort of start to see. I think I've seen that name before, but sometimes it would be good to have a sort of a prompt. So, hello, you've been here before. Of course, if people change the names, I don't know if the Twitch API lets you have sort of the unique person key. Because people like you that keep changing their names would fool that sort of system. As indeed you fooled Moobot. This is kind of incidental or sort of accidental, but it sort of looks furish because for some reason I'm getting sort of lines in the sort of slight texture in the colouring. It sort of very slightly resembles sort of hair clumps or bits of hair. It rather does look like hair, which is amazing. That was not what I intended. Well, no. I was not intending this to look like hair. I was intending it to be sort of really quite smooth. The fact that it is looking like hair is an interesting side effect, which I am not going to do anything necessarily to destroy. Which might be hard because I don't actually know what's causing it. Okay. So this part of the leopard is in shadow basically. And I'm not going to take the shadow as dark as this, but I do want it to be sort of this dark. So this is kind of like a, if you like, part of his chest and across the top of his shoulder. Now, as I am getting fur-like textures, I'm going to have to make sure that I keep those textures, and it's got to be something to do with the pen movement that's doing it, these sort of slight ovals that I'm doing, and I've got to make sure that I keep the pen, the oval, in line with where the fur, the fur direction. Although this may well be sort of light enough or furry enough that I ought to put in the dots, the spots. But we'll think about that once it's nearer completion. Now I've noticed I'm getting lighter. That's not what I intended to happen, so... I slow down. Slowing down makes the transition darker. Oh, I see what's doing it. It is the little ovals I'm doing are digging in slightly right at the end of the stroke, and that's creating sort of a little line. No, it's got light. I'm gonna have to probably go over again. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because what that does is it adds a layer, and adding a layer so increases the depth of the colouring, and since it's getting a little bit of texturing added for free, then that's an opportunity to enhance that texturing. It's a lovely fur texture, but I'm not sure I wanted it. Note to self, remember the technique for the future. Yeah, I know it's done it. And I'm coming on that way, so I've got consistent, but I may just see if I can go over it and smooth it away. So I'm kind of thinking it would be too dark here to actually see any sort of fur texture. That'll look right nice on sort of a dog. Or just possibly something like a mouse, but done in a sort of a fairly large sort of format. Trying quite hard here not to get that same sort of texturing. I don't want it here. I'm not sure I want it there, but I certainly don't want it here. It's got to be too dark to see anything like that. I want this just to be black. Well, not black, but really dark. Yeah, it's too much like fur. It would imply that you'd be able to see the dots or the spots. I don't want that. If you can see the fur texture with a lack of light, you'd see the spots as well. So. Oh, well, you can join the club, Wolfie. I don't always know what to talk about. I've ended up with a fur texture here that I don't want. Usually I want fur textures and I can't get them. Here I've got one and I don't want it. I want this to be a sort of really, it's dark. It's so dark you can't see the leopard spots in this area, and I've ended up with this lovely fur texture. But the fact that you can see the texture implies that you would be able to see the spots as well. So what I've got to do now is smooth out the texture. You've only another one level to do. What is it you have to do to sort of in this game then? I didn't attempt to play it, and I've not seen it played, so. You just want to get further. Okay. Do I have to be streaming for you to play that, or can you continue when I've stopped? What I need to do is fade that out across there. Okay, you can play anytime. Alright. Now, so you noticed last night I had it. Well, I did say I'd have a look at it after the stream, and for once I remembered what I said. Let me reassure you that whilst you reminding me helped, that by no means guaranteed I'd remember. There are many a time that I've come to the computer to do something. I've sat down in the chair, that's just there, and at that point completely forgot what it was I was doing. So literally within the space of sort of 4 seconds, I have forgotten what it is I sat down at the computer to do. Now, one of the reasons for using circular movements when you are trying to get a smooth area like this is that because there's no end point, you're making circles. You're not stopping and starting, and you're also, well, you're not stopping and starting, so you don't get the black blob syndrome, which is when the pen stops at the end of a backwards and forwards stroke, because it has to stop to reverse direction. So momentarily it's still in one particular place, and in that particular place is where you get that black blob, because you've suddenly added a lot more heat there than in the other areas where your pen is moving. So by making circles, your pen never stops, and therefore you're less likely to get the black blobs. .400 more XP. You're getting close now, are you, to level 11? Oh, to level 10. Oh, I thought... Oh, you're almost... Sorry, I misread earlier. I thought you'd said you were at level 10, not that you were almost at level 10. I was just thinking then, what happens if you were to stream playing that game but play that game on somebody else's channel? Does that make it a collaboration? still getting a texture. Looks like I'm just going to have to maybe settle for dark. At least I'm probably not getting sort of this same sort of tooling marks. Normal kitchen paper, by the way. I know I keep saying it, but this isn't hot enough to set it on fire. I know a lot of people think it would, but so, although it wasn't my intention, I've ended up doing another big shadow. Of course, the previous streams I was doing the background. And although this isn't black, it's still another dark shadow. Although this one has been quite a bit harder to do. Because as I say, I don't want those tooling marks, and I kind of really wanted a really-ish sort of consistent colour as well. Not being bad, but I am still getting these somewhat fur-like marks. And as I say, this is supposed to be so that a shadow, if you like, the head almost across the body, so you wouldn't be able to, it's at night, you wouldn't be able to see much here, and I doubt you'd see a fur texture. Sometimes in pictures, what you leave out is often as important as what you actually put in. So Well, we're getting there, but it's I've still got that texture that I'm not happy with. Not altogether sure what I can do about it, but I'm going to darken this down still, and then we'll maybe take a look at it again, maybe after I've done some more on the areas that you can see. But we are now at 9 PM and it's about time to finish. So as a reminder for anybody watching, there will not be a stream tomorrow night, and at this moment in time I don't think there's going to be one on New Year's Day either. So my next stream scheduled will be Tuesday evening at approximately 7 PM UK time, which is GMT. So thank you for watching. I hope I'll see you on the next stream. Bye for now.